When there's a restructure and leaders lose resources, they go through this loss of power. And they have this feeling of where they feel like they've lost control. And one of the reasons they go through that is because their belief is that they actually had control over resources before. And it's been part of their career. It's been part of who they have been as to grow the number of resources that you have reporting to you. In my first early jobs working in financial services, we used to use the term, oh, that's that person's world. And it was interesting to me that we would reference how big someone's world was, which just demonstrates how important having resources report to you is. When you go through a restructure and you create a matrix structure, whatever you're looking to do, when you have leaders out there who no longer have the number of resources they had before, or they don't think that they have the decision-making authority, they go through a complete change of, who they are anxious, they don't feel value in the organization, and it can really create problems in terms of how they react to that. Some people could react negatively and go into passive-aggressive behavior, and we've all seen that in organizations. A lot of times I'll ask, groups of leaders, do you have anybody who acts like this, where they hoard resources, or they only share information when you beg them for it? And they say yes. And that shows you that you have people reacting, that they want to hold on to power and control. I worked with a leader once who was really dealing with this loss of power and control when we were doing an org design session. And we were looking at their horizontal dimension. And we were in the middle of a meeting, and he wasn't being placed on a steering team as a major stakeholder in the first wave of our design. And part of the reason was that he actually managed one of the largest resource areas that was critical to the success of the organization, and they needed a leader who really was paying attention to capacity and capability development. In that session, he actually couldn't even engage with the session. He needed to walk out, he had to process that, and it was interesting to watch that sense of loss personally go through someone who was feeling undervalued by the organization. So lots of emotions go through leaders when they feel like they've lost control and power. And depending on how empowered they are as an individual, they're going to react very differently. Some will become controllers and try to make all the decisions and control everything. Others will complain and be the victim of the restructure. So reframing helps a lot with that as well when we work with leaders.